The horror movie Don't Breathe hit South Florida theaters this weekend. It's the story of 3 thieves who break into a blind veteran's house because they think it'll be easy pickings and they can steal all his money. Boy, are they wrong. Here is the film's director, Fede Alvarez.
Stay right there.
How many of you are there?
Just me, man, all right? Just let me go, please.
Wow, what a great movie, man. So scary.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you liked it.
I'm in the theater last night, right? And I'm sitting next to this guy, total stranger, don't know him. By the time the movie is halfway done, we're punching each other, we're grabbing each other, we're like, don't go in that room! And the whole theater was doing that. You've built something here in a genre that's really tough, I think, to nail. I really do think you nailed it, man. Congrats.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that because that's exactly the goal, right? Is to get you engaged in a level that just drives you mad, right?
Yeah. You know, what's neat about it, too, is that it kind of takes the whole people trapped in a house thing and kind of flips it around, right? There are no ghosts at play. I think that's really neat, that this is like a human versus human kind of thing. You almost don't even see that anymore.
Well, but that was the whole thing. I think the creative approach to the whole movie was like, how many of the things can we turn up on their head and reverse them? Like, the home invasion was a reverse home invasion. You're with the home invaders. You have a house that, you know, usually in these movies, you have a scary house in a nice street. This is the nice house in the scary street, right? And all those elements like really put you in a place that you don't know what to expect. You don't know where it's gonna go. You don't know what's gonna happen. It's very hard to predict, right? Let's say that.
Completely,
like,
yes.
Let's agree that, particularly where it goes towards the end, there's no way you could have seen that coming, right?
Yeah.
And that's something I'm proud of.
So there is a sequence when the lights are off, right? Because it's either the hero is the villain. I don't even know who's who anymore in this film.
Yeah.
But the guy's blind, right? And then he sort of turns off the lights, so now everyone's on an equal playing field. And that is like a terrifying several minutes of film.
Now you're gonna see what I see.
That must have been really neat for you to build.
Yeah, definitely. Because of many reasons. One is obviously something that was very important to me for me to do in this film. That is, you know, the premise is we're gonna rob this blind man, and they go, it's kind of wrong, right? We shouldn't do that. And why? Because we see these characters as like they're weaker, right, or disabled. But you can see in that scene that if there's anybody disabled, it's not him. It's the kids. They're not able to see in the dark, or they don't able to, you know, behave or like perform without light. And I think that's very, very important. And when you get to that scene, you realize that you made a big mistake by underestimating this antagonist. Right?
Yeah, that's the understatement of the millennium. Yeah, big mistake. I think in an effective movie of this genre, the near misses are even more powerful, right? Mm-hmm. The moments where you think something's gonna happen, but it doesn't. As a filmmaker, how do you know how long to hold the suspense? You know, there's some scenes where nobody can see and they're sort of right next to each other, but nothing happens. Is that a feel thing in the edit? How do you know the moments?
It's very hard to know. I think you have to have a pulse on that, and either you have it or you don't. And the suspense is always tricky because when you watch it in the editing room, everything feels like long and boring. But then you gotta know, you gotta have that, you know, your instinct has to help you to know that once you show that in a theater, and this movie is really designed to have that experience, right? To be watched in a theater, and because it's very cinematic. And it's not just the story, the way we shot it, the way we keep the suspense, the music, everything makes, you know, helps me to stretch those suspenseful moments and have you glued to the screen, you know, for the whole time.
Yeah, and it completely works in a packed theater because it's hundreds of people screaming, coughing, crying, yelling. Don't go in there. Like, it's an exhausting, but in a good way, film experience. I loved it so much, honestly, and good luck with it. It's a great movie.